Hi there, beautiful soul. So in this video, I'm going to talk about graded exercise therapy and pacing in recovery. So there is research out there that is saying that graded exercise therapy helps for people with chronic fatigue. And they come from a place where they worry about the muscles of people in chronic fatigue syndrome when they don't do anything anymore, that they might eventually be too weak to stand up. So it's coming from a helpful place, I think. Yet it's controversial. And, my doctor prescribed me graded exercise therapy. He said just do some gentle exercise for 5 minutes. And that is exactly what the research is saying. But the research was saying stretching. Gentle stretches for 5 minutes and really make sure that I don't overdo it. Don't push myself because resting is very important as well. That is what graded exercise therapy says. And maybe you can improve yourself over a while. So the research wasn't done in a really amazing way. So therefore it's controversial. And there are a lot of people are saying that it doesn't really help. And the feeling that I got from it was doing more. Now, for me, it didn't work, but what worked for me was pacing, and it wasn't the complete answer, and it is in my recovery program also not the only thing that I talk about. I'm not a one-trick horse, Yet, I talk in the very early modules about pacing, but then eventually, when we do more and more stuff, we can let go of it. So the feeling that I got from pacing in my recovery was doing less. So that's a completely different feeling, right? And when I was doing graded exercise therapy, I was doing with weights. And it didn't say in the research at all with weights. Very gentle, very subtle. So maybe that was as well the reason why it didn't work. But with pacing, it's doing less. And you sort of measure the amount of activities that you do each day. And therefore you can also measure the amount of energy that you spend on a day. But in hindsight, I don't really look at it as energy. I look at it as stress. How much stress do you have a day? And how much do you want to spend? Because some activities are more draining than others. But yet, let's say from the energy point of view, that on one day you measure it, and I talk about it in the alignment program that you can access for free. I explain it everything, and let's say on day 2 or something, you have measured 26 energy points. Yet you crash. And on the next day, for a few days, you spend maybe 10 energy points per day. Then my advice is to not do 26 energy points a day and not do 10, but make sure you go to the middle and you don't crash. Because usually after a crash, the amount of energy that you have, the amount of energy points is less. So we want to avoid crashing. That's basically the first goal with pacing. And then we can establish the so-called baseline. Then, in pacing, it's more than that. It's also observing the activities. Observing, like maybe you went on a birthday party and it's really draining, and you said this is so many points. Whereas when you do a gentle walk for 1 hour, further on in recovery, of course, then you might see, that is not really spending so much energy or stress levels. So you become better at picking activities that are helpful for you, that make you sure you don't crash. And you really start to analyze this, and then you become better and better and better in it. So at a certain point, you don't really need to pace anymore because it goes automatically, and you get, because of these activities that are genuinely more joyful, and you're genuinely more in a joyful place, you might come to a point where you actually start to enjoy resting. And then that changes everything, because then the stress levels go down immediately. So if you're like, for example, stable in the middle for a while and you haven't crashed for 2 weeks, and it's of course very calculative, very mind-driven, but it's a good way to start. And then after 2 weeks, you can say, let's do a little bit more. But in general, it's also a method to say, wait, I've already spent 15 points today, or maybe I can do 16, 17 today maximum, and I still have to brush my teeth. I still have to get undressed. So maybe for me, I don't do anything anymore, or just a gentle meditation. So it's more it's more a reversed thinking than graded exercise therapy. And of course, graded exercise therapy is controversial, and sometimes I've heard about people being they mention pacing, which is different, on a Facebook blog, or how is it called, a group. Then the person that reads that thinks about graded exercise therapy and then bans the person. So it's very controversial, and therefore I'd like to make it clear in a video like this and to help you with it. And if you'd like some more help, then check out the Alignment Recovery Program, because it has everything that I think that is important in recovery, and you can access it for free. And if you want to support me back, if you want to help me back, you can support me with donations, but only if you want to, and only the amount that you think that is right for you. So it's a win-win for the both of us. And I'm here to help you, and I hope I helped. I wish you a beautiful day. I wish you good rest. I wish you a good recovery. Bye.